Good morning, everyone. My name is Siobhan Keogh. I'm the manager of the MidEast Regional Skills Forum, and I am delighted to welcome you to our Employer Talent Development webinar. The MidEast Regional Skills Forum is one of 9 fora across the country, working with employers to help them with their skills needs. Today, you will hear from 7 education and training providers that are represented on the MidEast Skills Forum. But there are also other members who provide services and supports to regional employers, including in the MidEast, Kildare Chambers, Meath Chambers and Meath Enterprise, who have assisted us greatly in promoting this webinar. The Department of Social Protection also sit on the forum, as well as Enterprise Ireland, IDA, IBEC, the Construction Industry Federation and other industry representatives and local authorities. Through the forum, we work together to address the skills needs of the region and employers. This webinar was designed with you, the employers of the region, in mind. We are aware that you and your company may have been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic or Brexit. You may be looking at ways to future-proof your business and make it more sustainable and resilient. Maybe you are transforming your business through digitisation or automation. Or you may want to upskill or reskill your employees. All of these considerations present challenges and opportunities for your company and its employees. And as you piece together your training plans and skill solutions, I would ask you to take a look today at some of the solutions that are demonstrated by the regional education and training providers. I would like to introduce you now to our panel of speakers today and to thank them both for their inputs today as well as the time that they have put into preparations for this event. Starting us off, we will hear about a partnership in the development and rollout of an on-site Lean Six Sigma programmes from Tony McKeever from Manor Farm and Anton Barrett from Dundalk Institute of Technology. Following Tony and Anton, we will hear from Professor Marcus Helford from Maynooth University and Stephen Farrell O'Callaghan of Clark Recruitment on understanding how digital transformation and innovation can transform your business and assist with essential skills planning. Sanitisation has become something we have all had to develop a greater awareness of during the last year. And today we will hear from Jack Gregan from the Institute of Technology Carlow about their collaboration with Infernico Pureneck in the design and development of an intelligent UV system for sanitising beverage bottles. Focusing on the workforce of the future, Sinead Heenahan from IITD and Trainers Learning SkillNet will take us through findings and impacts of research focused on the future skills requirement for learning and development professionals. This research is entitled Enabling the Workforce of the Future, the Role of Learning and Development. Relating the story of a start-up micro-enterprise called Bridgeman Ecosystems, Joe English from the Meath Local Enterprise Office will talk us through some of the programmes, supports and mentoring that assisted this company on its journey. As I'm sure you're aware, the hospitality sector was particularly challenged during the pandemic, and today Dr. Aisling Sheridan from Louth Meath Education and Training Board will tell us about Train the Trainer modules that were delivered in this sector during Level 5 restrictions to equip managers with expertise to allow ongoing in-house training. And last but by no means least, we will hear from Eileen Cullen of Kildare Wicklow Education and Training Board about an innovative skills solution for a bakery resulting in a traineeship and other sustainability training in the hospitality sector. As we go through the presentations today, some of the skills solutions that are showcased may resonate with you, or indeed you may have other specific skills needs. Please know that the providers here today, as well as the other Regional Skills Forum members, are keen to help and would like to connect with you. If you have any questions as we go through the presentations, please enter them into the chat function. We will collate these and get through as many as we can after all of the presentations. And now, I would like to hand you over to our first speakers, Anton Barrett from the Dundalk Institute of Technology and Tony McKeever from Manor Farm. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and my thanks to Siobhan and her team in the MidEast Regional Skills Forum for organising this webinar and for her invitation to myself and my co-presenter Tony from Manor Farm to participate. As she said, my name is Anton Barrett, and for the past 20 years, I've been head of lifelong learning in Dundalk Institute of Technology. And in that time, the biggest change I have seen is the elevation of part-time education from being what might be called a nice to have or a Cinderella element of higher education into a must-have service, where part-time enrollments have become our fastest growing cohort of students, where academic activity around course design is probably at its most inventive and flexible, and where the revenue, indeed, from this source of education delivery has become core to the viability of many higher education institutions. Over the past 4 years, for example, full-time student enrollments in Irish higher education institutions has grown by about a total of 2%. However, part-time student enrollments nationally are growing at 7 times that rate, at 15%. And indeed, here in Dundalk IT, we've experienced part-time student enrollment growth of 29% in that same time period, or 14 times the national growth rate of full-time enrollments. So it is clearly a dynamic sector of higher education activity. So why are we seeing this? Well, there are numerous reasons, but I'm going to just pick out 3 for you. First, public and private sector employers have picked up the pace of rolling out and supporting continuing professional development in the workplace over the past 10 years in the aftermath of what can only be described as perhaps the scarring experience of the financial crash and the subsequent recession of 2008-2012, and indeed have been supported to do this by agencies such as Enterprise Boards or SkillNet Ireland, for example. Now, the majority of part-time students in DKIT come from the private sector, but we also have our single biggest provider of part-time students would be the HSE, in particular in the area of nursing CPD. So we can see a mixture of private and public sector supply of students in this area. Second, the national higher education funding model changed. Traditionally, part-time courses were completely self-funding, and thus really did not excite much interest from organizations such as the HEA, or indeed the department, as it was formerly called, Education and Skills, or indeed from senior leadership within higher education colleges themselves. But that all changed about a decade ago when Exchequer funding, when the model of Exchequer funding of higher education in Ireland changed to take into account the delivery of all certified courses, not just full-time ones. Now everyone in higher education institutions, and indeed government for that matter, take a keen interest in part-time course strategy and operations. And third, we have experienced, and fundamentally this is a key one, we've experienced the fragmentation of traditional higher certificate, degree, or master's programs into more bite-sized, special purpose, supplemental, and minor award courses. And what this really means is that we have now thousands of bite-sized courses available at a range of levels and at a range of credits. This fragmentation into bite-sized chunks of courses showed promise indeed in the mid-2000s, but has really been turbocharged in recent times by the advent of schemes like Springboard, which you might be aware of, or indeed the more recent Human Capital Initiative. So speaking of special purpose awards, one of our more popular ones is the Level 7 10 credit certificate in Lean Six Sigma, a green belt standard. We typically run this course on campus in a plenary fashion, enrolling 12 students at a time from a variety of regional companies. But we also run the course in partnership with individual companies such as Cargotec, PayPal, and in the case today we'll be talking about is Manor Farm, for cohorts of a company's own staff. Now, over the past 7 years, we've enrolled 200 people onto this program with a student completion rate of 94%, which would put it at the very upper levels of retention in higher education courses. 50 of those participants took part on in-company versions of the course, and one such participant is my co-presenter, Tony McKeever of Manor Farm, who I'll hand over to now to give you a student's perspective on undertaking the course with the support of their employer. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you. I've agreed to do this because I believe that if you complete this course, you will find a huge amount of information and satisfaction. If you choose to do this course, it may be seriously rewarding for you professionally and personally. Now, as Anton said, my name is Tony McKeever. I've been employed with Manor Farm for the last 31 years, and during my time at Manor Farm, I've held several positions within the company, starting out in fan sales in 1990, and I progressed on to sales supervisor, brand manager, and I've recently dipped in and out of food service. And however, due to the COVID and the pandemic, we all know how that has ended, and the hospitality industry has suffered greatly. So now I find myself being account manager for Dunnes Stores and Lidl. So just moving on, I'll give you a bit of background to Manor Farm. We are a fully integrated poultry processor, the largest in the Republic of Ireland. Our company was established in 1775. The company processes in excess of 52 million chickens annually. We are based in Shercock, County Cavan, and we employ 900 people in the local area. We have 174 contract farmers, and the farmers are based locally in Cavan, Monaghan, Meath, Louth, and Fermanagh. Manor Farm supply chicken products to all the leading Irish supermarkets and most restaurants and Irish butchers. So I suppose back in 2017, I chose to do this course under a little duress, might I add, because someone else left the vacant spot and I really was not sure about it, but very, very happy to have taken the course. The Lean Six Sigma course was started by Dundalk Institute of Technology in order to broaden the knowledge of the whole concept surrounding the issue of lean. We were recommended at our first session in the Dundalk Institute regarding reading material. I found most interesting was the Lean Thinking book by James Womack. This gave great insights and case studies of small, medium, and large companies who implemented lean into their businesses. I found this book to be very insightful, and I would recommend any person who is thinking about taking the lean course to read this book because it was so helpful. And again, this was just one of the many recommended books from the Institute. Again, I suppose every business who embarks on lean and the journey, it really needs the support of the senior leadership team, owners and directors, not just with their support, but also motivating participants through the course and pushing the concept of a lean culture from the most senior person in the business down to the person on the line. We were very much a family-run business back in 2017, and both the owners of Manor Farm, Vincent and Justin Carton, were really hands-on from and very instrumental in receiving feedback from all the participants who took part in the lean projects. There were several running at the same time, and these were very active throughout the course. At the end of the course, the both brothers were on hand to present their certificates to our employers, and this was received very well from the ordinary day employees and meant an awful lot to us as a team. The lean project I chose to pursue as part of the sales team was shelf keeping units reduction project. It was really interesting to me, even though I have been with the company for such a long time, to witness and be part of the other processes within the company. It was not just about the individual projects, it was about the whole team that were on the course from all the different parts of the business and the breaking down of silos, which are probably in most businesses even today. The list of other projects on the course were, we had an injection line upgrade, value-added traceability, we had a fillet yield improvement, we had water reduction, digital auditing system, we had holiday planning, kill and EFIS downtime reduction, automatic bulk gas system, and the school reduction project. From the very outset, we at Manor Farm felt very much part of the DKIT family. Everyone who took part in the course found the lecturers very accommodating, insightful, and helpful. Without exception, their wealth of knowledge was excellent. The course and the tools just flowed into our everyday work practices. Every avenue we explored, the lecturers were at the end of the phone, email, or Zoom until a solution was reached. It was extremely helpful that we took the course to our own boardroom rather than having to go into a classroom setting and commuting long distances after work. The project I undertook is still alive and well today. This practice has been considered on a daily basis, and we've improved and reduced our school numbers substantially over the years since I took the course. Year on year, the numbers are falling, and this is a big key performance indicator for our company today. In 2017, we were acquired by a company called Scandi Standard. Scandi Standard have production sites in Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark. And it was on a visit to the production site in ours in Denmark, just after I had completed the lean course, that everything I had learned stood to me, because the site we visited was so advanced in lean, it gave me a real sense of understanding of the entire lean processes They're an everyday part of their business. Every corner I turned on that factory visit, there was a flow and a purpose to every operated machine. It was inspirational. So thank you for listening to me. I know that may not have been easy, but do yourself and your career a favor and do this course. You will not look back. And thank you.
Thanks indeed. Thank you very much, Tony, for sharing your story and the story of your company as well. It's most interesting. And thanks also to Anton for the information. Moving along now to our next speaker, please welcome Professor Marcus Helford from Maynooth University, who is co-presenting today with Stephen Farrell O'Callaghan from Clark Recruitment.
Thanks, Jeanette. So also welcome from my side. So my name is Marcus Helford. I'm the director from the Innovation Value Institute. Right, yeah. So together with Stephen, my co-presenter from Clark Recruitment, we want to showcase one example what we developed together with Maynooth in Maynooth University and the Innovation Value Institute to engage, to collaborate with companies, particular small and medium-sized enterprises, to help companies along the digital transformation journey, to help to develop the skills, the technologies, the insights to really benefit from what we would call the opportunities on digital technologies. So for my background, I'm a professor at Maynooth University in the intersection between business and technology, and I fully believe that this insight between and the intersection between the technology and the managerial aspects is extremely important to advance the companies and the service offerings and helping companies around that. So a little bit on background from my side before I hand over to Stephen to give insights on how we collaborated. So the Innovation Value Institute is now around for a couple of years, so was founded in 2006 at Maynooth University with the aim to collaborate with companies, with industry, and developing IT management practices, sharing these practices, so helping organizations to develop skills, to develop capabilities, and to address IT management challenges. Over the years, of course, we also evolved with our approach and also the knowledge and the expertise what we have around this, and we moved into the digital transformation, also with the new technologies, artificial intelligence, virtual reality. But in core, what IVI and the Innovation Value Institute offers is expertise, a knowledge base, which was co-created with many input from companies, from researchers, from experts around this, and we sharing that in an open innovation community. We also see ourselves as hub and interface between company requirements, the needs, the challenges from the company, and the expertise what we have in Ireland from the universities, but also the research centers, the researchers, the lecturers, the skills providers. So to interface between companies and that expertise pool what we have in Ireland. So in IVI, we have about 30 people, researchers working with us in that, so many from Maynooth universities, but also in the wider aspects from the center. Some of the logos are here. Where we focus on and where we have our capabilities are around the technology areas, for example, artificial intelligence, but also the managerial aspects, governance, data governance, cybersecurity management, architectures. So bringing all these different technical managerial aspects together and applying them to various domains, various areas, fintech, smart cities, digital retail at the moment, a really challenging area, digital construction, manufacturing. So a wide set of different domains, different areas where we co-create with the companies and looking at digital transformation and helping and supporting the companies and availing of the opportunities around digital transformation. So this slide is just showing some of the companies. Of course, you recognize some of the bigger logos, but also it's a mix between bigger companies, smaller companies around this. So this is the environment where we collaborate, where we work together, and I fully believe this is the benefit of that open innovation, open collaboration that we benefit from. On the one side, the expertise in the universities, but on the other side, also the expertise in the companies. So why are we doing this? Because typically what we also experience, it's not only the technology side, kind of the solution to it, it's often even how to start on the digital transformation. So companies typically, when we start to kind of, so it's the key question. So how technologies can help? How can they help to be more efficient? How can we improve solutions, services with the technologies? And there are so many different technologies, often a hype, for example, artificial intelligence. But we, and this redesign and rethink program, we tried to roadmap to help organizations along that, to prioritize, to identify the needs, identifies the skills gaps and the technology gaps, and then roadmap and helping companies along that journey and developing strategies, roadmaps, and that pathway to improve. And we have that a process design, rethink, redesign, where Clark Recruitment worked with us as well and was one of our partners on it, where we started an innovation workshop where we prioritize the challenges, the pain points, the opportunities. Then from the research side, looking at the opportunities, looking at best practices, looking at technology opportunities, and then roadmap together with the company, with the client, and identifying a way forward, a roadmap in skills, technologies, capability development to really advance this. And this program is supported by Enterprise Ireland, for example, under the Innovation Voucher program. So starting, prioritizing, and roadmapping, and really helping the organization to advance on the digital roadmap or digital journey. So now I hand over to Stephen, who participated in that program.
Brilliant. Thank you, Marcus. Good morning, all, and sorry. Thank you, Siobhan. I'm Stephen Farrell-Callahan. I'm a director of Clark Recruitment and Clark Executive and Intermetrics Ireland. We are, I suppose, essentially a people-based organisation providing consultancy services across 3 different core areas, from recruitment, coaching, and Intermetrics, and outsourced solutions. We were established in 1998. We're a small enough organisation, but we like to pack a punch. I suppose we have big ambitions. Our business is underpinned by, I suppose, a number of values, including professionalism, integrity, and the personal touch. Our organisation, I suppose, prides itself on being able to customise our solutions for the clients we work with. One of the gaps, I suppose, we identified was the need for advancement in our digital platform and our technological side of things. Going into the areas of the business that we felt we were probably lacking on was the technical side of things. And I suppose 2020 didn't really prepare us at the very start for what happened throughout the year, but it gave us a fantastic opportunity to really sit back and look at how we connect with our people internally, our clients, both external and in various different locations throughout the country itself, and also the technology and digital platform, and trying to connect them. You know, we did that with the collaboration of the IVI, in particular with Paul, Michael Hanley, Priyanka, and Rihan, who carried out the research with us. So the opportunity arose. We submitted our funding application to Enterprise Ireland, and we were lucky to secure €5,000 to help with the research to carry out the digitisation of the organisation. And I was, I suppose, a bit petrified at the start, thinking, you know, what are we going to do? Are we not good enough at the moment? But it's really opened up my eyes to so even some minor changes that we know that we were informed of kind of straight away, things that we can do that make a significant impact. We're still working with the team in IVI, and at the end of it, we will have, I suppose, a digital transformation assessment, an innovation priority report, and a technology skills roadmap. But the impact it's made for our business so far has been absolutely huge. We've a better understanding of the impact of our digital platforms, you know, including our social media, our internal systems, our internal intranet, enhanced usage of our CRM Bullhorn system, complete transformation of our customer feedback. And I suppose one of the things that's key for us is customer feedback, and it helps us to improve our service going forward. And having that digital ability to be able to connect with people instantly after we provide a service means that we get instant results. An overhaul of our business development strategy. You know, we're a sales organization. And a lot of people don't really associate HR or recruitment with sales, but essentially it is sales. We're representing candidates in the marketplace and representing clients and trying to, I suppose, marry both organizations and people together. So that's been huge. And then I suppose it's identified knowledge gaps in our own business. 5 out of our 10 people have gone back to complete further study up to master's level. So it is, you know, it's really an eye-opener. I would definitely recommend the IVI organization, and I would be happy to provide any further insights to anyone that has any questions after today's session. Thanks very much.
So yeah, so then I just wrap up on our presentation. So yeah, as Stephen said, so if you are interested in partnering with IVI and working on the Rethink Redesign project and availing of the program, just contact us. We're happy to start and to prioritize and talking and discussing the challenges with you together, and then basically helping you on that digital transformation journey.
Thanks indeed, Marcus. Thank you very much for sharing your information about the Innovation Value Institute and the Rethink Redesign programme. And Stephen, thanks indeed for telling us about your journey and carrying out digitisation in the organisation and the positive impacts that has had. Now I'd like to introduce you to Jack Gregan of the Institute of Technology in Carlow. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Siobhan. My name is Jack Gregan. I am Senior Designer at Design Plus Technology Gateway. We are based in IT Carlow on the campus, and are one of 16 gateways based in the Institute of Technologies throughout Ireland. I suppose these gateways they help industry, I suppose, access the skills within the Institute. And for Design Plus, our focus is on engineering, ICT, software, and bio life sciences, all through the lens of design. We have 8 full-time staff dedicated to industry projects. My role as senior designer, I suppose, is to work with clients with new and innovative ideas and kind of to help them develop them, but more so to test and validate and prove that their ideas prove that they work, so they can develop them further and look for further funding. I'll give an example of a project in a few minutes to better kind of explain this process. There are a number of different funding mechanisms to work with us. I suppose one of the easiest and most direct ways is through the Innovation Voucher Scheme. This is to the value of €5,000, and it's available to a limited company. You can avail of 2 of these fully funded vouchers plus co-funded 50-50 voucher. So any one company can get up to the value of €20,000 worth of work. We also offer other programs as well, like Design for Growth, Buccaneer, and Catalyst, and they're bespoke programs. There's also direct funding, which so a company can come to us directly, and we can work with you that way as well. So just to give you an example of what we do, I just give a short presentation here of a project that we worked on. As you can see, this was an innovation partnership. Originally, we started with the company on a 50-50 innovation voucher, and that kind of laid the foundation for this partnership. As you can see, it is 80% funded by Enterprise Ireland. So just to give you a little bit of explanation into the company itself, this was a 12-month project, and I suppose it's apt under the current environment. I suppose we're considering sanitation and everything like that, and sanitizing everything. The company had a big focus on the hospitality sector, and the problem they wanted to solve and the issue they wanted to look at, I suppose, was beer bottles, and the fact that they're actually drank a lot of times from the neck of the bottle. And although they look like they're clean, in a lot of cases there's still a lot of bacteria on the neck of the bottle. So what they wanted to do was look at a way or a means of cleaning this, something that could be quick and easy, and something that could be done really quickly within a bar environment. So the company themselves actually worked with a different gateway, a gateway based down in Cork before coming to us, one that focuses on photonics. They had an idea looking at UV light and how that could actually help to sanitize it. So they tested different bulbs intensities and different bulb positions, and they managed to actually get it down to 2 seconds. So they could sanitize the neck of a bottle in 2 seconds, which is really impressive. So when they came to us, I suppose they had the means of doing it, but you just needed a way, a device that could allow them to do this within a bar environment. And I suppose one of the big issues with UV light is the dangers involved, and you can't be exposed to it, and the user couldn't be exposed to it. So there's a big health and safety risk there. Also, because it was a busy bar environment, they wanted the workflow of the barman not to be affected. So it had to be something that could be very quickly, a device that didn't kind of impede that workflow in any way, and something that would, I suppose, fit into that whole experience. One of the things is we looked at is in 2 bottles simultaneously, just to speed up the process. Even though it was 2 seconds, it's still a long time if you're waiting. But also because you're dealing with alcohol and beer, it had to be something that could be easily cleaned and easily maintained. So just to begin, if you can imagine, there are a lot of different bottles, shapes and sizes. And we had to look at all of these and look at a system whereby the device we're going to design could take all of these and could universally fit all the different types of bottles. We also had to look at the product environment and look at where it's going. The bar is often cramped. It's a lack of space in some cases. So we had to look at that and look at where was the best place to position it. We also have to look at the UV lights themselves. They're very sensitive, the bulbs are, so whatever we designed had to, I suppose, securely hold the bulbs in place and not allow them to be damaged by the bottles or whatever went into the device itself. A big focus for us was the workflow of the barman himself. It was only going to take 2 seconds, but in a busy bar environment, you didn't want this product to, I suppose, impede his work in any way. It was something that was going to have to be easily done, as in easily follow his workflow when he opens a bottle, and just it was in the process of handing to the customer. That's what we had to look at. I suppose this ultimately determined the position for our device, which was on the bar itself, close to the customer, so the customer could actually see what was happening, but also it allowed the barman that as soon as he'd sanitized the bottle, the next move was to actually hand it to the customer. We ideated around a lot of different, I suppose, sizes and shapes. We started off, as we do, through sketching, just to explore how it might work, and what's the best way to, I suppose, seal and protect the user, and not let any UV light escape. But it was also something that the barman himself was going to have to use. So I suppose the best way, rather than showing sketches or anything, we built sketch models that we were able to bring and position in a bar. These were foam models that we could position, allow the barman to use and get a feel for it and see was it something that, I suppose, fits into his natural rhythm when he's going from the cash register, from the fridge to the taps, etc. As you can see there are some of the images of the early testing, just to show the different positions we were looking at. A big consideration, like I mentioned, was sealing the device itself and keeping UV light inside. The bulbs were going to be on the whole time. So it wasn't a case of that when it's not been used, it still had to be sealed. But then when the bottle was been positioned, again, no light could escape. This was probably the biggest challenge of the project itself. And we tested loads of different mechanisms and different systems and sliding from side to side, etc. Before we actually nailed down a device that worked really, really well and allowed us to seal using the shoulder of the bottle. This really gave us a really good device, but also kept the footprint really small. From here, we were able to begin our CAD and designing the full system. And it was really at this stage that we realized its position and where the device was going to actually go itself was a prime place for a display, especially for the customer. This was going to be a new device. It was going to be something the customers didn't understand and would be questioning. So we actually decided to place a screen on the device itself that could display what was happening and explain the sanitation process, so that the customer themselves could see that in 2 seconds how long it was taking and why and what was happening to their bottle. This screen was also going to be a really good space for advertising and for branding. Again, it's really valuable real estate on the bar. So we designed 2 prototypes. You can see them here on a display stand. We have a suite of 3D printers within the Institute, so we were able to design 2 fully functioning prototypes with electronic screens. These were then given to the client, who was able to put them on the bar. These are actually images here of it on a busy bar in a nightclub in Dublin. They tested them over a number of weeks, got feedback from the barman, they got feedback from all the users, the customers themselves. And based on that feedback, then we were able to further develop it. Working with another technology gateway, we were able to develop the UI, which allowed the client themselves to control it through an app. So they're able to change the branding depending on its position. They're able to just alter it just for an individual pitch. They could actually pitch it as different to different brands. Again, you can see the device there on the left. It's fully movable as well, so it can attach to the bar, but it can detach, so you can move it from bar to bar depending on what suits the client and what's the busiest area. And just to finish up, there are just a few product renders just to show the screen and display that the customer would see and how it looks on the bar itself. So if you'd like to work with us, or you can contact our Gateway Manager. You can also get us through the Technology Gateway website and our own website, which is designplus.ie. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Jack, indeed, for that information on the Design and Technology Gateway in the Institute of Technology in Carlow, and also the great work that you did and the challenges that you overcame with PureNeck. I'd like to introduce you now to Sinead Heenahan from the IITD and Trainers Learning SkillNet. Sinead, thank you.
Hi, good morning, everybody, and thanks very much to everybody for joining the session this morning. My name is Sinead Heenahan, as Siobhan said, and my general role is with the Irish Institute of Training and Development, which is a professional body for people who are involved in learning, development and work-based training. And as part of that, we have a SkillNet. We are the promoter organisation for the Trainers Learning SkillNet. And this, for those of you who perhaps may not be familiar with SkillNet Ireland provides grants to organisations and eligible individuals who want to engage in upskilling. And they, as I said, they provide funding to private organisations or individuals who are registered as sole traders, but they also provide 100% funding through their Skills Connect initiative to people who are in, we'll say, vulnerable sectors, or for people who are out of work or in fact seeking work. So very quickly, we, as part of our work with SkillNet Ireland, we commissioned a piece of research in 2019, and it was completed by Professor David Collings and Dr. John McMacken in DCU into looking at the role of learning and development in enabling the workforce of the future. And this report, I'll put a link to the report into the chat before I'm finished, but basically the report came up with a lot of very interesting insights into how learning and development will play a role in supporting organizations who are moving on into the future. So everybody knows that the world of work is evolving at a pace quicker than at any stage in history, and a key driver of this evolution is the whole growing impact of AI, and particularly in the form of, we say, machine learning and robotics, and how this is reshaping the world. And McKinsey estimates that by 2030, approximately 15% of today's work activities will be automated. And that's somewhere in the region of 375 million workers globally will need to shift their occupational category. So the potential for this impact is absolutely enormous. And business leaders know that these changes in technology and longevity and work practices and business models, if you like, have created tremendous demand for continuous lifelong development. And we have seen that particularly over the past year, that the reliance on learning and development in organizations to allow people to adapt and advance with everything that happened in the world of work was really very significant. So, however, while some jobs are disappearing due to advance in technology, many more are now being kind of transformed. And in response to this evolving landscape, if you like, learning and development professionals really have to focus on their, if you like, the strategic impact that they are making, and how they can support the redesign of work and the reskilling of the workforce and the ongoing evolution in organizations. And in that regard, then, learning and development professionals really will be the drivers of developing models for this agenda. And when I say learning and development professionals, I mean people who are working on that agenda in organizations, but also, the type of agencies that are on this session this morning, who are involved in crafting learning solutions and working with organizations around meeting the challenges of adapting to all of these workforce trends, if you like. And those trends, have been rendered even more complex, if you like, because there is an ongoing changing dynamic between the expectations of employers and employees about how and where and when people acquire learning. And this is changing really rapidly. And again, you know, we're now really moving apace with the narrative and the discourse around hybrid working and looking at what is going to be the purpose of the workplace. And one of the key considerations in that now is that when people physically attend the workplace, it may be for learning and how we can design human moments if we are going to be working in a partially remote way. So the role of learning, both in helping people and organizations to adapt to that, and also the use of the workplace in the future for learning, are now going to be key considerations. And organizations need learning and development professionals to help them to capture and to analyze and distill the sort of data that's emerging from learning interactions, and to help companies to use that to not just for information purposes, but also to help them to craft their policies around this kind of thing. So in order to do that, one of the key requirements of L&D people is that they will need to fully understand the competitive capabilities of the organizations that they're working in or working with, and how then to integrate learning, if you like, into the design of work and physical environments now in a way that can sustain and support employees and the business strategy. So therefore, it's really important that L&D people shift their focus from what were the dominant paradigms, if you like, of the last 50 years, and to examine much more contemporary ways in which we can improve practice as learning and development providers and professionals. And the reality is that, you know, we talk about all of this in the context of, you know, the workplace of the future or the future of work, but the reality is that that is a luxury that we really cannot afford to indulge in now, because we know that, you know, there has been a sense that the conversation or the agenda for organizations around the future of work is competing with the work that we have to do today. But we know that both are actually aligned very much now. And when we look at the sort of changes that are happening, we will see that there is no future. It's only what's happening now. So we conducted this piece of research, and I don't have time to go into it in any great detail, but I'm just going to flash through it a little bit to give you a flavor of the type of things that came through. But as I said, I will link you to the report, and it's available freely for anybody who wants to download. So what are the sort of things we looked at? Well, we talked about this idea of the impact of AI and robotics on the future of work, and the fact that, you know, we can't have this false comfort around it, thinking that it's something that, you know, can be sort of put on the long finger, if you like, and that in fact digitization and automation is impacting all sorts of roles, not just the sort of manufacturing type roles that we might assume are the ones that are going to be automated, but actually, you know, roles in finance and in the legal profession. And so really it's not contained, if you like, to sort of more manual type of work. And in fact, if you just look at one interesting stat, that when this research was being done in 2019, Amazon, who have the robots that go around collecting up all of our orders, they had 55,000 robots working in their depots at the end of 2019. They now have 200,000. So it's interesting that even in the space of little over a year, it has quadrupled. Now, obviously, the whole pandemic has contributed significantly to that, but nonetheless, it is an interesting thing. And the other thing is just a small graph over in the bottom right-hand corner where we talk about the half-life of skills. So the half-life of skills refers to, if you like, how long a portion of the skills that you have acquired are relevant. And just to give you a sense of how quickly that's changing, in the 1930s, the half-life of skills was considered to be 35 years. And in the 1960s, it was considered to be 10 years. And now we're saying that it is somewhere between 2.5 and 5 years. So if you're somebody who's going into, your degree in engineering or something, and it's a 4-year program, it's a kind of a sobering thought that by the time somebody comes out of that, some of the skills and knowledge they have acquired, even while they are on the program, are already obsolete. So that's a really quick one. This is just very quickly to give you a sense of, I suppose, how we came about framing the recommendations from the research. So we asked the responding organizations what was driving the use of technology in learning and development. And as you can see, we had a whole myriad of different responses to that. So the outcome of the research was that, if you don't have a kind of a frame of reference, or what we were calling a North Star, you're going to get a whole lot of different answers to a question. So we found that organizations that had this North Star, which was a very clear sense of why you're doing something or what the objective of it is, that they were the ones that had the most success in sustaining people and performance. So what does a North Star look like? Well, for example, one company said that they were very much looking at people capabilities, and they had identified a specific skill set that they needed in their business. And this was they had narrowed down the key skills that they needed to achieve their objectives going forward. Another organization talked about sustainability, but they were also talking about sustainability in terms of the sustainability of the careers for their employees. So they understood the type of roles that might evolve, but they also understood how they were going to evolve and reskill people in line with that. So just then, very quickly, maybe to finish up, again, this was a kind of a model that we used to talk about this North Star. So obviously the first thing was to establish a skills baseline, and that requires completing a skills audit. If you don't know the skills that you have in your business already, well, really, you don't know, if you like, what assets you already have, how that might inform your recruitment strategy. So perhaps instead of being constantly out trying to compete in a very challenging talent market, that you might decide to grow your own. So that's these are, if you like, elements that will deliver a financial return immediately and in the very short term. So again, this is just a very quick comment about the establishing the skills baseline, and there's a lot more about this in the report. Assessing the impact of change. I mean, if we are talking about, something on a 5-year horizon, that is a really, really short time frame. So it's very important that organizations are looking at the whole skills piece in the immediacy, because the clock is ticking and the risks are very serious to organizations who don't take on this the impact of change and how learning is going to support that or enable the sustainability thing we talked about there a few minutes ago. And the other thing then is just about understanding how you're going to align the learning and development team with the resources you have. So, what is the organization strategy around this? Do you think you can employ one person who has all the expertise on everything to do with learning? And the learning and development agenda has gathered such pace in organizations now that it is something that really needs to be considered. Do you try and recruit different people with different L&D competencies? Do you embed L&D people across all of the different business units? So there needs to be some consideration around how you align the L&D team and the resources with the business strategy. So really, this is just a kind of a closing quote. And, it does highlight, though, the central role that the sort of agencies who are involved in this session today and are involved in, if you like, the national agenda and the whole wider upskilling and supporting organizations to achieve performance through people, that it's really critical now to the sustainability of the economy. So thank you, Siobhan, for the time. I hope I didn't stay too long, and I will put a link to the report into the chat, and it will be available for anybody who wants to have a look at it.
Thank you very much, Sinead, both for the information on SkillNet Ireland, but also on the interesting, timely and relevant introduction to this piece of research into the evolving skills landscape and the sense of urgency that I think Sinead portrayed of looking at this now. I'd now like to introduce you to our next speaker, who is Joe English from the Local Enterprise Office in Meath. Thank you, Joe.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Siobhan. The Local Enterprise Office, we deal with small companies looking to start up, or even pre-startup companies, and small companies who are looking to grow. Life is complicated for small companies or people thinking of going into business. I'll just throw out a few words and see what you think. Agile innovation, local partnership companies, Leader, Intrail, IDA Ireland, New Frontiers, SkillNets, BICS, Innovation Vouchers, Companies Registration Office, Feasibility Grant, Board BIA, Competitive Start Fund, Microfinance Ireland, Fáilte Ireland, Enterprise Ireland, and not forgetting revenue. If you're thinking of starting a business or you're just starting up, how are you expected to find your way through all of those organizations and programs and more to find the supports that you need? Because there are supports out there for people to start up and looking to start up. What the Local Enterprise Office does primarily is act as a signpost and a first-stop shop for anybody thinking of starting or growing their business. And our expertise is in helping you navigate through all of that word salad that I threw at you a few seconds ago, to get you to the point where you can get the support, the finance, the mentoring, the training that you need. We do, within the Local Enterprise Office itself, we do have a lot of financial support, a lot of training and so forth. And I'll go into those in just a minute. But first, I'd like to share with you a video of one of our clients who came to me probably about 3 years ago now with an idea. I'll run the video and then I'll just chat about how we supported this company and how we can support your company. So if you want to roll it there, Colette, for anybody of my vintage.
My name is Pierce McGrath. I'm the Managing Director of Bridgman Ecosystems. We design and manufacture equipment for the recycling industry. Our niche market is removing of contaminants from compost. The recycling market worldwide is growing hugely, and part of that market is the composting industry. Unfortunately, sometimes in that compost is a plastic, and our machine takes that light product, the plastic, out of the compost, giving the end user a valuable product. Having traveled abroad working for the past 5 years, I had this idea of a machine and I wanted to manufacture it in County Meath. The supports from the Meath Local Enterprise Office were mentoring and then a series of grants which allowed us to invest in a computer system, some workshop equipment and help assistance with employees. In late 2019, the Meath Local Enterprise Office introduced us to the Lean program, which improved efficiencies in our workshop. That led us onto the Agile Fund, which will allow us to design new equipment for sale on the marketplace. The Meath Local Enterprise Office, with the mentoring and financial assistance, allowed us to get a toehold in the market, which would have been impossible without them.
First day Pierce came into us, I realized he had a plan and he had a roadmap for getting this product built and delivered to customers. In Pierce's case, we started off with a feasibility grant just to look at the business. Then we moved on to a priming grant. And then we got into programs to develop the business, like the Lean program, the Agile program, and the Grad Start program. And I really felt that we in the Meath Local Enterprise Office really could help them along the way to make it happen.
So just to summarize, Pierce came phoned me up one day and said he had this idea, told me what he was thinking of doing. I was a little bit dubious, I must say, because he said, I'm going to build this huge machine and we're going to export all over the world, and our primary market is going to be the US, and I want to start building this here in rural County Meath. But I went out to have a chat with him, and when Pierce said rural, he wasn't joking. The number of lanes I had to go up was incredible. But once we sat down, I realized that this was a man with a plan. And I have an engineering background myself, so I was able to connect with him fairly quickly. But talking about this idea of signposting, I was able to work out with Pierce the type of supports he needed, and then I was able to tailor the supports that we were able to offer to him, so that we'd come together, the two of us, he would get what he needed, and we, of course, in the local enterprise office would feel good that we were providing the support that was necessary to get what is a highly innovative business off the ground. I'm delighted to say Pierce is growing. He started off with one man and a shed. He's now got about 10 employees. He's exporting to the US, the UK, and Europe, and is doing tremendous business. I'll go into a little bit of detail now on the supports we offer. And just to put us in context, there are three primary agencies in Ireland supporting business. There's IDA Ireland, of course, who are dealing with multinational companies. Enterprise Ireland deal mostly with companies with more than 10 employees and potential to export. And then the local enterprise office, we deal with small companies of 1 to 10 employees, or indeed pre-startup companies. So if you are thinking of starting up, we're the place to come. Or if you're a small company looking to grow, the local enterprise office is the place to go. We're primarily interested in manufacturing companies and companies, of course, who have a potential to export. We look for service companies with niche products, but our door is open to anybody to come in and talk to us. And I keep reiterating this idea of signposting. Our door is open. We love people to come in and talk to us. In terms of grants, which is what most people are interested in when they call us up, we do have a range of grants available. The primary ones, of course, are a feasibility grant. So that's for somebody who's thinking of starting up and maybe wants to test out a new product or service. We do have those feasibility grants, and they are typically in the range of 5,000 to 15,000 euros for a grant. And they can look at prototype design and development, consultancy, patenting, working with a third level institute, etc., pointing you towards innovation vouchers that can be included as part of the offering. For companies who want to and are ready to start up, we have priming grants. The word comes from priming the pump, so to get the business moving. And what we can cover there are some capital equipment, employment grants. We can assist you with marketing. We can assist you with some consultancy, training, utility, rent costs, and so forth. In fact, any of the costs that are associated with starting your business, we can help you with. And then building on that, we have business expansion grants. So if you are in business and you're looking to expand, maybe you need to move to bigger premises, maybe you need some more machinery, maybe you need to hire more people. We would be able to offer business expansion grant to you. These grants are all on a 50-50 basis. So for instance, if we offer you a grant of 20,000 euros, you would need to spend 40,000 euros and we would refund you the 20,000. So all of our grants are on that basis of 50-50. We do have other grants. We have trading online vouchers, which are proving extraordinarily popular at the moment. So they're for any type of business who's looking to trade online. And then we work with Enterprise Ireland on their Agile Innovation grants, and these are for companies to develop their products, to develop innovations in their business. We also offer a huge amount of training and mentoring. We have a major focus on the whole lean process, and we have a range of experts in that area to assist you on your lean journey. We're now moving into the whole green for micro area, which will provide consultancy for small companies to green their business. On the mentoring side, which is proving enormously popular, we have a cadre of experts in all areas of business to assist you on a one-to-one basis. So if you have a particular problem, maybe in finance, maybe in marketing, maybe in engineering, we will have people who can come and work with you on a one-to-one basis to work with on your individual business, on your individual problem. I think the message I'm trying to get across, and I know I'm running out of time, Siobhan, come to us, talk to us. If we don't have the support or the expertise that's available, we will point you in the right direction. But we do have considerable supports. We have finance, and we're only too happy to help you. We will not waste your time. I will let you know very, very quickly what supports we can offer you, or I will put you in contact with the correct organization. So our door is open. There's one of me in County Meath, and there's my colleagues, Vivica Delahunt in County Wicklow and Jackie McNabb in County Kildare. And we're all supported by a team of seasoned experts on business development and support. And I speak for Vivica and Jackie when I say our doors are always open, and we do welcome you to come and talk to us. It may be by Zoom at the moment, but we do love people to come and talk to us. So with that, I'll hand back to you, Siobhan.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much indeed for explaining the wide range of supports that are available from all the local enterprise offices, but also, Joe, your empathy for small companies and helping them to understand those supports, even very rural companies, and also the great example of how you helped Bridgman ecosystems too. Thank you, Joe. I'd like to introduce you now to Dr. Aisling Sheridan from the Louth Meath Education and Training Board. Thank you, Aisling.
Hi, Siobhan, and good morning, everybody. It's great to be here with you today. So my name is Aisling Sheridan, and I work with Louth and Meath ETB. So I work in further education and training, and as you can see, Louth and Meath ETB work with employers across a very broad range of sectors, primarily through the area of Skills to Advance, which is a very innovative new funding scheme which provides highly subsidised training to employers. So the background to this, I suppose, look, ETBs work with employers across all sectors. In LMETB, we have a dedicated employer engagement team who work with employers to identify training needs and develop a suitable response. So that is applicable to all companies. And I did see in the chat there were some questions around whether a company needed to be a limited company or not. No, we work with small to medium enterprises, we work with large enterprises, so across the broad range. You can be a sole trader, so once you're in business, we are available to provide training for you. So we've worked with a lot of companies, but for the purposes of this particular webinar today, we have chosen to look at one particular case study, and this one is relevant to all sectors and businesses, and was successfully delivered with the Johnstown estate in the last few months, so very recently. Now, this initiative was profiled in the latest Solus Skills to Advance newsletter. And so this partnership between LMETB, the Johnstown estate, and which was delivered through one of our PLC colleges, Dunboyne College of Further Education, was a QQI Level 6 Specific Purpose Award in training and development. And you can see the screenshot of the article there. So essentially, you know, why did we select this particular, I suppose, this particular case study as opposed to any other case study? Well, really because we felt it was very applicable to all businesses in any sector. So staff are upskilled in the area of training and development. And what this means for your company is that training can therefore be delivered in-house as an integrated part of a staff member's role. So what you're doing as a business is you are building up that skill set internally, as opposed to contracting skills in from an external source. And so your staff are trained to A, identify training needs, and B, upskill in relevant methodologies required to provide effective communication and training. So what are the benefits to your company? So it enables companies to provide training to new and existing staff. And just bear in mind, this is all companies. So this doesn't matter if you're manufacturing, if you're retail, if you're hospitality, any of the broad ranges of sectors can avail of this training. So you could train staff in areas such as standard operating procedures, perhaps to ensure compliance with health and safety, environmental or other legislative requirements. It could be to train your staff even in best practice guidelines or to ensure quality assurance, to train on instructor manuals or on new pieces of equipment that come into the factory floor. If you're in retail specifically, it could mean ensuring consistent standards in customer service skills or branding of your company, and particularly if you're spread out among a number of departments or maybe geographical locations. So skipping ahead there, yes. So the client request in this case, so looking at this particular case study again, so Johnstown Estate, who were really excellent partners actually in this initiative, they would have liaised with our employer engagement team initially, and as such, expressing delivery. You know, they were thinking ahead in terms of their staff and preparing for reopening of the sector. So they decided to upskill their staff during hotel closures due to COVID-19. And so the award chosen was the QQI Level 6 Award in Training and Development. So this was developed, so we have to acknowledge the support in this of our employer engagement team, of course, and also Catherine Fox in Dunboyne College of Further Education as well, who worked with the company and tailored this award to suit their needs. So it is comprised of 2 modules, all right? So the first one is training needs identification and design, and the second module is training delivery and evaluation. So the first module, the purpose of this module is to equip the learners so that they can identify training and development needs in your business or at an individual level for a particular staff member, for example. And once that's been identified, you can then move forward and devise a training plan. And you can explore the scope of training and development design then to meet identified needs. And obviously the second piece then is in terms of the training delivery and the evaluation post-training. So it equips the learner with the knowledge, skills, and competence to deliver, assess, and evaluate a training and development intervention. So again, this particular partnership with Johnstown Estate, there was a very experienced trainer on board for this from our PLC college in Dunboyne, who was experienced of dealing with industry and in particular the hospitality sector. As I said, the bespoke content was developed, which was relevant to this particular case study. And support for participants was built into the course. And that's very important. And it's really important to mention that. So that is a key feature of ETB training. So we are very keen on providing all of the wraparound supports for participants. So you may have employees who haven't engaged in training or education for some years, who may need extra supports in areas of perhaps literacy, digital literacy, language skills, whatever it is. Those wraparound supports are available and they will be discussed with you as a company to develop a bespoke and tailored training content to suit your needs. And so for us, it is very important that it is a partnership between the employer, the participants, and ourselves. Now, in this particular case, the modules were delivered via Teams and Moodle because that was COVID-19 restrictions. Obviously, it can be a mix, it's flexible, it can be face-to-face learning in your premises, in one of our further education and training centres across Louth and Meath. It could be a blended form of learning, but again, tailored to suit your own individual company needs. In this particular case, the main consideration was to ensure that the delivery of the course and the assessment was completed prior to an unspecified, at the time, reopening date. So it was very important that this was completed by May, and we now know that the hospitality sector is thankfully opening up in June. So it's been very important that that goal was achieved, and it was. On-site assessment took place, and very importantly as well, the assessment was designed so that as a result, there would be resources available for the company going forward to build their own training and development plan. So it's not just a question of training people up and moving off. There are resources left available. And so, you know, again, this inbuilt capacity to grow with your company. So you'll probably have enough of listening to me at this point. So I'm just going to play a short video here from Anthony Smitty, who's the General Manager of Johnstown Estate, and also from Therese Phibbs, the Learning and Development Manager, just to give you a little bit of feedback on what they felt about the programme. So if we could play the video there now, perhaps.
So we felt that we had really strong department heads, and to help us develop our people in-house rather than finding courses externally, we felt that if we could instill a training culture within our teams and also develop our heads of department to deliver these courses, we would ultimately benefit from having that skill set in-house.
Well, as you know, we've just gone through a very long period of lockdown, and so we decided we'd need to really use that time really effectively with our HODs who were still currently looking after the hotel. We identified that training is a very important part of the hotel and learning development and building that culture. The best place to start was with them. We wanted to provide them with all the tools and skills that they needed in order to be able to deliver that training to their teams. So that was the main primary reason why we got involved.
Okay, and the target audience that you worked with were who?
Currently, that did the training?
Yes.
Sure, they were our heads of departments. There was 12 of them in total that completed the course, each of them from the different departments in the hotel. So they all brought a unique personality, they all brought a unique set of requirements. They knew their own departments really well, but it was a really great opportunity for them to learn a little bit more cross-departmentally also.
Okay, and what courses and what QQI modules did you opt for?
So we chose both the training needs evaluation and training needs design. So they're QQI level 6s, and so the team completed both those level 6 during the 12-week period.
Okay, and what was the outcome of the course?
So the outcome was exceptional. Our teams learned how to identify training needs. They learned to identify the gaps that they needed to fill within their own department and with the hotel as well. They learned how to design their training courses for their particular areas, and then they learned how to present and deliver a really comprehensive and robust training modules.
And what would your advice be to anybody else thinking of engaging with Skills to Advance?
Oh, absolutely, to do it, to engage with it. It's been a wonderful opportunity, first of all, and then the experience itself for the trainer that was delivering the training, Laura O'Dwyer, for Catherine Fox, who is from Dunboyne College, and then from IFA with the LMETB. The collaboration of all those people provided with an exceptional experience, exceptional learning experience for our HODs, and it's something that they'd never done before. So it was just a wonderful outcome.
So thank you very much there, both to Therese and to Anthony. Just really good to get that positive feedback, and just to say that Dunboyne Estate were such an excellent client to work with. So just thank you for that. So just overall, just to summarize what we've looked at, really, you know, for what we would say the learning from all of this is that clear, open lines of communication between the employer, who was Johnstown Estate in this particular example, Dunboyne College, our PLC college who delivered the course, and our employer engagement unit is hugely important, that is a partnership approach, and that it is tailored to suit the employer. The assessment design is very important. We're not just meeting the requirements of the QQI certification, which is also very important, but also meeting the requirements of the employer. And that this type of training provides capability in-house to cascade learning to new and existing employees. And I suppose what's sometimes underestimated is that it does lead to a culture of training developed in the company from entry level to senior management. So that's very positive for any business or organization to have a progressive culture of training. So just thanks to everybody involved there. Very, very briefly, just to reference also a piece of innovation that is currently taking place within Louth and Meath ETB, and it links quite nicely into some of the presentations presented earlier. And it's just to bring to your attention that Louth and Meath ETB have developed a new advanced manufacturing training centre of excellence in Dundalk with various partners. And so this again is to future-proof skills going forward, as we've heard this morning how important that is. So it's to develop and deliver high-quality training to the manufacturing sector, both regionally and nationally, to enable reskilling and upskilling in Industry 4.0. And it's to provide support really to develop new careers in advanced manufacturing through the medium of apprenticeships and traineeships. And that's just an example there of some of the areas that will be available there. So there's the robotics and cobotics, precision engineering, additive manufacturing, augmented reality, industrial systems and control in the area of pneumatics, welding, MIG and TIG welding, also robotic welding, engineering workshops, and obviously the Industry 4.0. So a broad range of offering there, and really just something that I wanted to bring to your attention and make you aware of. The course is delivered are delivering key skills and practices required to transform businesses through the application of Industry 4.0 technologies. They are funded also under Skills to Advance, which is a highly subsidised funding mechanism provided through Solus. And it provides practical, effective customization of training, which is a feature of our engagement with industry. Training needs analysis coupled with technology and sectoral insights will be carried out. And ultimately, it increases the technology IQ of your workforce. So to increase your innovation, which is very important going forward. So look, I would just like to say thank you to everybody. This is obviously a team effort from LMETB. We have a wonderful employer engagement team. The details are on the slide there. And I would really encourage you, if you have any questions at all, to contact our employer engagement team. And they would be very, very happy to advise you or to clarify any queries that you might have. Also, just to really thank Catherine Fox, Deputy Principal in Dunboyne College, who helped to deliver the programme that we profiled there with Johnstown Estate. Trace Phipps, the Learning and Development Manager in Johnstown Estate, who was a wonderful partner in the initiative. Contact there for the Advanced Manufacturing Centre of Technology there in Dundalk, Dr. Michael McGrath, and some exciting news that their website is being launched over the next week. And just from myself, Aisling Sheridan, very happy to take any questions or comments from you or any calls at a later stage. And finally, to thank Siobhan for organising the event for everybody today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Aisling, for the information on the great partnership with Johnstown Estate and the relevance of this initiative to all sectors, and also for the very current information on the Advanced Manufacturing Training Centre of Excellence. I'd now like to pass you to our final speaker, who's been patiently waiting to share with us, and delighted to introduce you to Eileen Cullen from the Kildare Wicklow Education and Training Board. Thank you, Eileen.
Thanks, Siobhan. Good morning, everyone. My name is Eileen Cullen, and I head up the Innovation and Training Services within Kildare and Wicklow Education and Training Board. It's great to be here with you this morning to give you an overview and share with you the supports that Kildare Wicklow Education Training Board can provide for businesses and communities of Kildare and Wicklow. We are a key resource for businesses in Kildare and Wicklow, and your challenges are our opportunities. So just think about that for a minute. Your challenges are our opportunities. And what's even better, we're in the community. We're all over the community, whether it's a school, a secondary school, whether it's a further education training centre, whether it's an adult and basic education centre, whether it's a post-leaving certificate course, That's where we are. We are absolutely involved in every single community in Kildare and Wicklow. There's been a lot of talk about the future world of work and the words agility mentioned and design thinking and all of these nuances that are obviously coming down the tracks and are existing within employers. And obviously they are challenges at the moment for employers. But we here in Kildare Wicklow are delivering upskilling and reskilling to all sectors. So be it from the advanced manufacturing sector, encompassing, let's say, digitalization, automation, hospitality, healthcare sector, whether it's bakery, whether it's food processing, whether anything, you name it, we deliver it. We can deliver it in a bespoke way. We can deliver it in bite-sized learning. We can go to your company. We can sit around the table. We can talk to you about your needs. What your company needs. You may ring us and you might say, you may think you need something, but actually when you get to talk to us, our team will come out and they will do a training needs analysis with you, and maybe there's a better solution. And we've mentioned the word there, it's been coming up right out throughout the presentations, a leaner way of doing things. Now, we, I suppose, are unique ETBs that we have a lot of employers already on our books because we look after all the apprentices right in with all the employers in all of the areas. So we've access, Kildare Wicklow currently have access to 1,100 employers at the moment in both of those regions. And what we do then is we have told our team that, look, you need to tell the employers that there's more out there. There's more upskilling we can do, whether it's telesales, I saw there something coming into the chat, whether it's CRM, whether it's Microsoft Advanced Excel training, whether it's Lean Sigma, whether it's just a simple thing of maybe developing a new program for, let's say, a deficit of skills that you have, or if it's maybe something that you want to save money, maybe savings, a cost efficiency way of, let's say, doing something. For example, it could be something that we've done recently on a production line that we have upskilled some people in a company and we have helped them make a preventative plan to make sure that the lines don't go down. So automatically it saves the company money. And that's a very, very quick fix. And it just entails a little bit of learning from a machine learning point of view and data analytics. So to support a sustainable future, Kildare Wicklow Education Board continues to devise the next generation of innovative education and training solutions that will meet all your future business requirements. So for future growth and sustainability, employees need to be equipped with transversal skills, such as complex problem solving, cognitive flexibility, emotional intelligence, creativity, service orientation, and design thinking and rethinking. And we already saw some slides there previously on that from Marco. We currently deliver all of those programs in bite-sized chunks. We are creating and developing leaders of the future with our innovative initiative throughout all of Ireland for our hospitality initiative. So we are developing leaders in hospitality and tourism and also supervisors. So we have courses, bite-sized learning, and also full-time courses. And we are actually dealing at the moment with, I'd say, over 170 employers delivering that course nationwide. Our programs are heavily subsidised through our Skills to Advance national funding. And I'm not going to go over that because Aisling has already covered it in her previous slides. But we encourage you to start the conversation with us to meet all your needs and also your future needs today. So to demonstrate the power of the conversation, with the businesses, I have two small case studies to share with you. And these both were born out of COVID-19. In 2019, we met with Bretzel Bakery. They're situated in Kilcullen in Naas and also in Harold's Cross in Greenmount Industrial Estate. They were experiencing struggles in attracting and retaining staff for their growing bakery business. So this short video offers an insight into the journey that we undertook and how we can work with businesses like yourselves to develop training solutions for all skill deficits.
A meeting took place at Kildare County Council to develop a food strategy with Kildare and Wicklow Education and Training Board and other stakeholders. One of the stakeholders, the Bretzel Bakery, had identified a skills gap within their company and the wider industry. There was a deficit of bakers entering the sector, coupled with an increased demand for local freshly baked artisan bread. This has presented the business with challenges for recruitment and retention within the bakery industry. Kildare and Wicklow Education and Training Board agreed to conduct an occupational skills profile within the industry and mapped against available qualifications suitable for this bakery career. On foot of the OSB, a further collaboration between Kildare and Wicklow Education and Training Board, Bretzel Bakery, and FDQ accreditation body worked together to deliver an employer-led traineeship model. A state-of-the-art bakery school was built within Bretzel's Bakery's production facilities to deliver a program that underpins the knowledge and practical-based skills for a modern bakery business. Trainees learn the technical knowledge and quality points of baking ingredients with state-of-the-art equipment, traditional methods of bread baking, and the production processes in a learner-focused atmosphere. Practical work experience within the operations of the renowned Bretzel Bakery enhances learners' essential skills and knowledge, ready for the world of work. Trainees benefit from experienced bakers and world-class tutors, sharing their knowledge in our purpose-built Center of Excellence. Our 12 learners, who were part of this wonderful opportunity and tradition, have built a career within the artisan bakery sector. Bretzel employees on the program have also benefited from upskilling their own skills and gained a qualification.
So now, this program, the traineeship in Bretzel Bakery, finished on the 30th of April. It had 12 trainees on it. 3 trainees got a job in Bretzel Bakery. 2 have started up their own business, just opened coffee shops. 1 has gone over to France to continue her artisan bakery, and another 1 or 2 are gone actually on to third level, which is great. And we now have a great relationship with Bretzel. We're going to obviously run another one, hopefully in August and September, and also we're going to run one in Wicklow, hopefully. So we're going to partner with a lot more bakeries because there is a skill shortage, a skill deficit within the bakery area. So the second case study is building your future 50 Shades Greener in hospitality. Led by ourselves, we collaborated with 50 Shades Greener to deliver sustainability training to the hospitality and tourism industry whilst lockdown was happening. We wanted them to obviously prepare for their opening, which is, please God, in the next few weeks. And we were also looking at how they could save some money when they reopen. So we knew and we know that the government are looking to reduce Ireland's carbon footprint, and we brought this program to the industry. The 50 Shades Greener program provides businesses with the knowledge and skill sets required just to control the 3 elements: energy, water, and waste, in return and reducing your carbon footprint. What does this look like to a business within the hospitality sector? Well, KWTB upskill the employee to become a green manager, and in turn then the green manager implements a green policy and trains a green team within the business. And we will show little synopsis of one of our managers from one of our hotels later, because he undertook the program himself. So just, I have a little short video from the Future 50 Shades Greener. It's only 30 seconds, 35 seconds, and it's from Raquel Noboa, who is the CEO of the company, a small Indigenous company in Clare, who we have collaborated with. And we're the lead ETB on it, but we've also partnered and brought in all of the other ETBs on board. So here we are.
This is the very first time that 50 Shades Greener is working and collaborating with an educational training board. We're so thankful to be collaborating with Kildare Wicklow Educational Training Board to provide a fully subsidised environmental training programme for the hospitality industry. This pilot project concentrates on teaching the industry how to reduce their energy, water and waste, which in turn reduces their carbon emissions and saves them money from their utility bills. We're delighted to be working with over 150 businesses in Ireland through this pilot project with the Kildare Wicklow Educational Training Board.
And that's great to hear saying that, because it's been obviously fantastic working with 50 Shades Greener. And I have Jared O'Brien from Woodenbridge, who is engaged with ourselves and who has done the green program, and he undertook it there about 2 months ago, just ready for his own reopening now in a few weeks' time. So let's listen to Jared.
I'm here from the Woodenbridge Hotel and Lodge. I had a meeting with the team at KWHB at the beginning of the year when they were preparing to launch their Hospitality Training Manager program. We went on to sign a number of people up to this, and they're now participating in both the Level 5 and Level 6 programs. However, also at this meeting, where the 50 Shades Greener program was suggested to me, and shortly after this we signed a hotel up. As part of the meeting, we've assigned a green manager, and we now hold monthly green meetings. It has significantly raised awareness of sustainability within the hotel, and we've made notable changes throughout the hotel in terms of waste management and energy usage. I was always told that what gets measured gets achieved. And the biggest thing for me is we now actively measure and monitor our waste and energy usage, and we compare it to monthly figures, guests in-house, that kind of thing. The support from KWHB and the 50 Shades Greener team has been excellent, as well as meeting our responsibilities with climate change and the expectations of our guests. I'm also confident once we properly reopen, the financial benefits and the full payback of it will become obvious. So thank you.
That's a great endorsement from Jared O'Brien of Woodenbridge. Now we have Kevin Dundon here from Dunbrody House in Wexford. And I don't know, he's been all over the papers this week. Every paper that I actually open, he's there. And he's promoting the sustainability, the way for hotels and the reopening and how to actually come back to life and emerge from the pandemic. And he's saying the sustainability should be at the forefront of everyone's mind, particularly in this industry and every other industry. And what he's basically saying is, who thought that something as simple as turning on an oven an hour later in the mornings could save €2,000 this coming year? And we know that the hospitality industry want to save as much money as they can because it's going to be difficult enough for them. And we also have then Lochest in Donegal, another beautiful hotel that's just come on board here with the sustainability program, and it's making great changes and great savings for them. And I suppose that's just 2 examples of hotels. 3 really. It's Kevin in Wexford, Jared in Wicklow, and Lochest then in Donegal. So we have now 175 of these hotels giving us the same message, telling us how great this program is. So it's fantastic for us, and we have to do more. And this is just the hospitality industry, and we are going to be targeting all of the various different sectors now with reducing the carbon footprints in different areas. So imagine what we can do for you. You've heard a lot of speakers here this morning. You know, we all collaborate. All these panelists here that you've heard this morning, we all collaborate together. Imagine what we can do for you. We want to build skills for tomorrow. That's what we are very good at doing. I'm just talking about building skills for tomorrow. There's been a lot of talk about the manufacturing area. We have an advanced manufacturing centre in Selbridge, and we opened in 2016. And we were the first ETB to bring this phenomenon, I suppose, to educators and trainers. And I suppose I just want to hold up this book. You may not see it, but I have it actually. Suzanne, one of my team here, is putting it up on the chat. It's an advanced manufacturing skill needs analysis 2020 that was actually surveyed for 38 advanced manufacturing companies within Kildare and Wicklow. And it's very, very interesting reading. And I would advise everyone to pick it up, because for me, it doesn't actually, it just not only relates to the manufacturing area, it actually relates to all sectors. So have a read. So thank you for listening, and let's start that conversation. Thank you.
Eileen, thank you very much indeed. And yes, let's start that conversation. Thank you, Eileen, for the innovative example of how you responded to the Bretzel Bakery, and also the information on 50 Shades Greener and the input from Wooden Bridge Hotel. And best of luck to all the employers on the call in the hospitality sector as you reopen over the coming weeks and months. Thanks also, Eileen, for the information on the skills needs analysis and your advanced manufacturing centre in Salbridge. And so, as Eileen said, for those of you on the call, you've had a lot of information to take in over the last hour and a half. We have asked for questions and answers, but thankfully, as they have come in through the feed, many thanks to the panelists who have answered those questions. So what I would like to do now in wrapping up is just to ask you again, the employers in your seat. Firstly, if you're outside of the counties of Meath, Kildare and Wicklow, if you would like to get in touch with me, I can signpost you to the Regional Skills Forum manager that's in your region. If you have any queries or questions that might strike you after today's event, please get in touch. As Eileen said, we collaborate as a group and as a forum, including members who didn't get to present today, but we will absolutely make sure to respond to your needs. You may wish today, after today, to connect to one or more of the panelists. You can contact the panelists directly, or as Joe said, we're very good at signposting. You can get in touch with me and I will signpost you out to whichever of the forum member or members can help you. So my hopes for you today is that you found it a good investment of your time, and that this gives you something to build on as you plan your skills for the future, for the coming months and years. And really what I would like to do before we finish is to thank the following. Firstly, a huge thanks to Sharon Comerford, my colleague, who has been working tirelessly on this event for many weeks now, and she's still working on it. I'm hugely grateful for your support. Secondly, I would like to thank Martin Cullinan and James Hackett from mywebinar.ie, who are responsible for the professional technical production and technical support of the event today. I would like to thank Mick Brom from Enterprise Ireland, who's also the chair of the MidEast Regional Skills Forum, as well as Alan Shine from Kildare Chambers. Mick and Alan were very helpful in the early stages of the design of this event. And as well as Alan, I would like to thank Paula McCall from Meath Chambers and Gary O'Mara from Meath Enterprise, who greatly assisted with the promotion of this event. And thank you indeed to all the members of the MidEast Regional Skills Forum who reached out to their client companies, members and colleagues in a collaborative effort to spread the word about this event. I would like to thank you, the attendees, for taking the time to attend this event. And absolutely, I would like to thank our panelists of today, Tony McKeever from Manor Farm, Anton Barrett from the Dundalk Institute of Technology, Professor Marcus Helford from Maynooth University, Stephen Farrell O'Callaghan from Clark Recruitment, Jack Gregan from the Institute of Technology Carlow, Sinead Heenahan from the IITD and Trainers Learning SkillNet, Joe English from the Local Enterprise Office in Meath, Dr. Aisling Sheridan from Louth Meath Education and Training Board, and Eileen Cullen from Kildare Wicklow and Education Training Board. Thank you very much for your time today and also in preparing for today. I'll sign off now and wish you all the best in your endeavours, and we will keep in touch. Thank you very much and bye-bye.